Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Lakers are facing a dilemma as to whether to trade Austin Reaves or not. Reaves had a great season, but to achieve the team's goal of being champions now, the Lakers need to fill some gaps in the roster, which are a big center, defensive wings, and good shooters. A trade with the Utah Jazz was suggested, where the Lakers would bring in a great center and two forwards, and with this roster it is enough to be favorites for the championship. Successful trade suggestion: Lakers and Utah Jazz make a trade involving several players and the Lakers become a very strong team and a candidate for the title. The Los Angeles Lakers' 2025-26 championship hopes will plummet if they fail to address their frontcourt void in the summer. In Lake Show Life's Sviatoslav Ravenchuk's eyes, the Lakers could land an ideal Anthony Davis replacement by trading their 6'5" star guard to the Utah Jazz. It's about that time of the year to cook up mock trades, Ravenchuk wrote last Friday. Here is the first of many: Austin Reaves, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and a 2031 first-round pick to the Jazz for Walker Kessler, Colin Sexton, and Jordan Clarkson. If the Lakers were interested in building up a more balanced roster that would not be as top-heavy, the Utah Jazz are certainly the team to call. In a best-case scenario, the Lakers walk away from this deal with a new starting center and two veteran pieces that can play strong supporting roles for this team. After struggling to find more than 5 reliable players in the 2025 postseason, it's not a bad approach for Los Angeles. The Jazz would hopefully be sold on Reaves' upside enough to consider him, the 2031 first, and a couple of expiring contracts as ample return for a good haul going back the other way. A career year in Utah could allow AR-15 to get his payday too. Kessler is built to assist a championship contender. The Auburn product can execute the pick-and-roll to perfection, run the floor effectively in transition, succeed in one-on-one low-post situations, and swat layup and dunk attempts at a high rate. Kessler averaged 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game during his third season in the big leagues. Kessler isn't a top-tier big man in the NBA yet, but his undeniable potential suggests he could take a giant leap toward stardom alongside Luka Doncic and LeBron James in Los Angeles. Reaves, like Kessler, should feel encouraged after his stellar 2024-25 campaign. Many doubted the undrafted number 3 scoring option's ability to continue his rapid NBA ascension. However, in the regular season, Reaves ensured that his naysayers had no choice but to applaud his efforts on the offensive end. The 27-year-old averaged 20.2 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.5 rebounds per game, shooting 46% from the field and 37.7% from deep. However, Reaves wasn't the same dynamic weapon in the postseason, as his 16.2 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per contest on less encouraging shooting splits, 41.1% from the field and 31.9% from deep, didn't get the job done against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. A Kessler and Reaves swap would be a solid exchange for the Lake Show. Lakers fans open to trading Austin Reaves in offseason. When factoring in all of the good and bad with Austin Reaves, Lakers fans think trading him has to be considered this summer. While Austin Reaves had a career year this season as a Laker, his poor performance during the postseason certainly hurt his place amongst fans. With Reaves being extension eligible this summer and reports indicating he's eyeing a $30 million a year deal in the future, the time is approaching where you either have to commit big money to him or move on. When factoring in all the pros and cons of the situation, we asked Lakers fans in our latest SB Nation Reacts poll if Reaves should be in trade talks this summer. The results are in, and 61% of fans think trading Reaves has to be considered. It's important to note that being involved in trade talks is different from actually getting dealt. With Reaves currently under such a good contract, it'll be hard for Los Angeles to move him and retain a player better than he is. Trading Reaves and still improving the roster would likely mean sending a package to a team for a player. underscore 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 underscore. Latest video from SB Nation. Underscore 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 underscore. Once you do that, though, it better be the right player, or else you end up in a Russell Westbrook scenario where you got rid of a quality core because you were desperate for star power. The fact of the matter is that the front office has plenty of work to do to turn this team from a first-round exit into a title contender. With the NBA Finals currently underway, Lakers fans have some time before any offseason moves can be made. For now, all one can do is watch the Thunder-Pacers series and see which of the baby Lakers will win it all. If you'd like to place a wager on the series or any other NBA bets, be sure to check out our friends at FanDuel. Ultimately, hanging banner number 18 is the only objective the Lakers should have. If the path towards that goal includes trading Reeves, then so be it. If the best way to win an NBA title involves a backcourt featuring Reeves and Luka, then that's fantastic. All options have to be considered when you are as far from your target as the Lakers currently are, and that includes parting ways with a fan favorite. Lakers LeBron James urged to retire. He ain't getting no fifth ring unless he buys one. LeBron must make a final announcement on his retirement in the offseason. The 40-year-old Los Angeles Lakers superstar has previously stated that he'll take his time to weigh the pros and cons of stepping away from the NBA as a player. While there's a good chance James will give it another go in the big leagues, an ex-NBA center recently urged him to move on from the sport. The longevity aspect, I think it's getting a little bit too much now, Olden Polinis, who played 15 seasons in the NBA, said on Byron Scott's Fast Break podcast Monday. Because I'm like, dude, what else you want to do? It's time for you, James, to start thinking about retiring. He ain't getting no fifth ring unless he buys one, it ain't happening. From an athletic standpoint, James isn't what he used to be. Above-the-rim finishes and electrifying chase-down blocks were regular occurrences for the 21-time All-Star earlier in his career. However, the four-time NBA champion has shown a slight regression in that regard. Fortunately, James' ability to dissect defenses at a high level and utilize his strength to dislodge defenders in the paint hasn't disappeared. James averaged 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds per game with the Lakers this season, shooting 51.3% from the field and 37.6% from deep while playing alongside Luka Doncic. With Los Angeles falling to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs as the number 3 seed in the Western Conference, revenge is probably on the former Cleveland Cavaliers star's mind. If a center joins the Lakers in free agency and Doncic's fitness improves, the Lakers could win their first championship since 2020 next year, assuming James opts into his $52.6 million player option and remains with the franchise. The ball is in James' court this summer. Lakers predicted to cut ties with rookie guard in favor of Raptors star in 4-team trade. Free agency for every NBA team doesn't begin until June 30th. Still, franchises should start identifying targets they want to pursue when the fun kicks off in 3 weeks. On Friday, Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus assisted the Los Angeles Lakers by creating a 4-team blockbuster trade that would swap a rookie guard for a Toronto Raptors star center. Respectfully to Jackson Hayes, the Lakers went into the postseason without an established starting center, Pincus wrote Friday. Luka Doncic may need a lob threat, which Hayes provided well post-Dallas Mavericks trade, but the size in the Western Conference needs an appropriate counter. Poeltl is not flashy, but he's a legit 7-foot, 260-pound center who averaged 14.5 points and 62.7% shooting with 9.6 rebounds and 1.2 blocks per game. The Lakers can retain Hayes, a shared client of WME's Bill Duffy, who represents Doncic, giving the team the lob option. LA would continue to target that archetype, like the ones Doncic took to the NBA Finals, Derek Lively II and Daniel Gafford. Still, Poeltl is an immediate upgrade, better suited with the necessary heft that Hayes doesn't bring. In Pincus' monster trade proposal, the Raptors would receive Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jalen Smith, and Jevon Carter. The Milwaukee Bucks would receive R.J. Barrett, Grady Dick, Chris Boucher, Jacoby Walter, Gabe Vincent and draft capital. The Lakers would receive Poeltl and Lonzo Ball, and the Chicago Bulls would receive Dalton Knecht, Jared Vanderbilt, Shake Milton, A.J. Lawson and draft capital. Poeltl plays for a small market franchise, but he should be commended for playing the best basketball of his career in year 9. As a disciplined big man who understands his athletic limitations, Poeltl is effective in the low post while getting defenders off their feet with shot fakes and setting lethal screens before rolling hard to the rim. The Utah product nearly averaged a double-double in 57 regular season contests. With Poeltl only being 29 years old and the Raptors in rebuild mode, a change of scenery would do wonders for the 7-foot frontcourt stud. Poeltl wouldn't dominate games in the paint like Anthony Davis did in Los Angeles, but from a stability standpoint, he's among the safest center options for the organization. Considering Knecht was nearly traded to the Charlotte Hornets earlier this season for Mark Williams, including him in a beneficial summer trade for Poeltl should be a legitimate possibility. How Chris Paul could fit in on the LA Lakers 14 years since trade was cancelled. Chris Paul has won all the recognitions in the NBA aside from the coveted Larry O'Brien Trophy. The 40-year-old has made it to 12 All-Star and 11 All-NBA teams in his career. Stephen A. Smith recently dismissed comparisons of Tyrese Halliburton to Paul due to the latter's achievements. In his 20th season, Paul played all 82 of the league games for the San Antonio Spurs, thereby becoming only the third NBA player to feature in all games at the age of 40. Although the Spurs did not qualify for the playoffs, Paul showcased brilliance with 8 points and 7 assists per game during the season. He is an unrestricted free agent in the offseason and one of the destinations for him could be LA. Chris Paul and the LA Lakers is an unfinished story. Paul was a player who was supposed to be playing on the LA Lakers with Kobe Bryant. However, in 2011, the league vetoed the trade and this meant that he would have to move to the Houston Rockets instead. At that time, Paul was one of the best guards in the league and him pairing with Bryant was expected to result in a championship. Over a decade later, the 40-year-old once again has a chance to make the move to the land of angels. He expressed his desire to be with his family, who are currently based in Los Angeles. The past 6 seasons I have lived without them. I've been away from them for the last 6 years. That's the conversation, said Paul on the Pat McAfee Show. Chris Paul and the LA Lakers would be a great fit. Paul is friends with Lakers star LeBron James, who has always appreciated the point guard's ability to perform at a high level. Although the veteran is 40 and cannot play like his former self, Paul can still be a value addition to the roster. He proved that last season with the Spurs as he led the team, making a few clutch shots and helping Victor Wembanyama become one of the best young players in the league. Rob Pelinka outlined the Lakers' priority as being the center position this offseason, but bringing in a talented free agent like Paul could be something the Lakers do to develop their other young stars. The 2-time Olympic gold medalist is probably going to be on a veteran minimum deal and having him as a backup guard could solve any issues the team has with production off the bench. Gabe Vincent, who moved to the team 2 seasons ago, has not made a great impact since being on the Lakers and he is on the final year of his contract. Austin Reeves' name has been thrown in the trade mix and he could be moved if the Lakers want to add another big. With those 2 options gone, Paul could fill in and step up for the team like he has in the past few years of his career. He also has a considerable amount of experience in the playoffs and if the Lakers sign him as a free agent, they could expect professionalism. Star free agent PG teases potential Lakers union in latest remarks. It's impossible to believe that Chris Paul has never played for the Los Angeles Lakers or been on the same team as LeBron James. Considering the affinity CP3 and the Lakers organization have had towards one another, and the close relationship James and Paul have, one would have assumed that their paths would have crossed. Since leaving the LA Clippers, Paul bounced around the league, playing for 5 different teams in 8 seasons. He is hitting the open market once again this summer, this time as a 40-year-old coming off the first season of his career, where he played in all 82 games. Before free agency begins in July, the point guard teased his interest in playing in Los Angeles on his appearance on The Pat McAfee Show. It is important to note that Paul doesn't specify the Lakers in his remarks. He simply indicates his desire to be around his family, who are living in Los Angeles. I talked to my family about it. My son just turned 16. My daughter's 12. The past 6 seasons, I've lived without them. So I go to San Antonio, Phoenix, Golden State, OKC. I've been around a few teams. But I've been away from them the past 6 years. So, it's a little different. Chris Paul. This reduces Paul's preferred landing spots to the Clippers and the Lakers. The Clippers have James Harden as their starting point guard, and Paul and Harden's rocky relationship dating back to their days in Houston is well documented. It's hard to imagine Paul heading back to the Clippers for that reason alone. If Paul finally ends up as a Laker after 20 seasons in the NBA, it would give him an excellent opportunity to win the title that has eluded him in his illustrious career. CP3 was agonizingly close to being a Laker in 2011, when Los Angeles acquired him via a trade with New Orleans, before it was vetoed by then NBA Commissioner David Stern because the league owned the Hornets at the time. If Paul were to sign with the Lakers in the offseason, it might be 14 years too late, but he would still be welcome with open arms as the organization chases another championship in the dawn of LeBron James' career.